So there is one set that honestly just escaped everybody's mind. It seems to be that was it. It's gone. No one's here to mention it again. And Journey Together. So far, I'm looking at kind of like the total set value at around about 500 to 600, depending on condition and depending on the extra promos for, say, a master set. But in general, I think if we do look back at quite a lot of the set analysis from a lot of the sets, we're looking at quite a few being a lot more expensive. When you're looking at something like Prismatic, that's kind of way above the odds. And Destined Rivals at the moment, love the new feature from Collector's App, don't get me wrong. You got 1.7, it is brand new. Going back to Surge and Sparks, even with the dip, is still at 850. And then if you go further down, if you look at something like a Twilight, because we know Stellar Crown's quite cheap, we got 751. Stellar Crown being a really cheap set, we're looking at 300 for that one. So it's almost like a justification of should you buy the packs, or at least how heavy should you hunt. Journey Together, to be honest, since it came out, we got the first month, and to be honest, product was everywhere. You absolutely loved it. There was not necessarily overfilling, and you most definitely could only buy 5 at a time from Smiths. You could definitely find the packs though. If I went into the local corner shop, you had half sleeve boosters every single time there, and it was a constant supply of them. Since Destined Rivals come out, none. I don't think I've seen a single Journey Together pack unless it's for market price. For obviously, whenever I'm saying that I can't find product, it's at MSRP, at normal shops, not at your market price level kind of other shops online and stuff like that. So always there. Now, when you do look at booster boxes and stuff, kind of looking at them, they're obviously going to go up. I think they are the easiest bet at the moment for sealed stuff. Whether we see them drop down or not, I know a lot of people are talking about the enhanced box. If that does get reprinted, then obviously it will kind of continue on an okay trajectory, like £200 for the end stamp as well. So if you think about that, if we do look at the end stamp specifically, we're coming in at $15 at the moment. So we're looking at like, what, a £10 card as such. So you got to knock that off the booster box price, because every single one is going to have one. If they don't reprint with the enhanced, that price is going to absolutely spike, because you can buy the normal booster box here without the enhanced for technically more. Like, obviously it's give and take. It's not necessarily that you won't find this or this for 200 or maybe under, but in general it is around the same sort of price, yet this has more of the value in it as such. So it's always interesting to see where they go, as naturally they will reprint, or at least they will keep continuing the Journey Together hype. And to be honest, the booster boxes have kind of been pretty steady now. Like I would say, we've not seen any stock, and whether that's a representation, it most definitely feels like it. Since we got, obviously, the Destined Rivals out, I've not seen anything. We did get all the way up to the highs, but we are looking pretty steady around that 2 to 210 mark when it comes to a booster box. And to be honest, that's going to be the kind of product that is worth at least looking at. When you do look at the rest and you see kind of like the ETBs, the Pokemon Center is a collector value. It's fair enough. I think that is dependent on what you want to pay for it. But when we do look at the Elite Trainer box, anywhere near 90, I'm kind of not bothering unless I'm keeping it sealed. If I'm keeping it sealed, the price can be kind of endless with it. Even the booster bundles and all of them are going to be an interesting one to see. Obviously, you have got cases as well. Whether you see loads of them being sold, they're going to be a very specific market for a high-end sort of either retailer or for somebody that is either investing heavily or really likes the set. When we see the pack itself, you can go for $6.34 at the moment. I don't even know if, because normally I use a handful of websites to kind of get my packs. Magic Madhouse for the UK is going to be a massive one here. I don't even know if there is many Pokemon sets in here. If we go to Journey Together, I actually don't know if there is a crazy amount here. Obviously, if we go in stock and if then we look at product by any chance, by the looks of it, it's product. Okay, we got booster box. They have got a booster box. I mean, that's pretty good. 169. So that's going to be about 180. We have got the packs at 485. So online, it's possible. You can get, I mean, the 165 is a great price for it. If you think this set is more than likely going to hold a solid value, may not be a crazy one. I do think when we do look at the set itself, it's a nice set. It may not be the absolute top of the top, but I thought this set was good. I don't think it's a bad one, to say the least. It's got some nice artworks in it. I do think the SARs, it's obviously a small set as well. The SARs, for me, I think obviously the Lilith Clefairy is a fantastic one. I like the Salamence. I've got the Salamence. I don't think it should be second, in my opinion. I really like the Zacian. I really like the Belly Bolt. Zoroark with N, it's decent. Again, it's kind of one of them that I think if you could see more of the Pokemon or maybe a little bit more out of the shade would be nice. I really like the Volcanion as well. I thought that... I get when you kind of put it behind all of these top-end sort of trainers slash Pokemon, it is going to do the worst, but it's a stunning artwork. Then obviously having the full arts with the golds, I'm a big fan of. Love the Articuno. It's still one that I do need to get. I think I'm 95% of the way through the Master Set, through Journey Together. Wailord, it's a great card. I still do need the stamp version as well. I probably will end up with that one at some point. Rabombe, a great for it. Love the Iono's Kilowattrel as well. It's just a stunning set. And same with the Wooloo. It's just one of them that I think it comes to the fact that it is quite a small set. But I do think as a hold, for instance, for the 170 for that box, it's probably the cheapest you're going to find for the moment. Now, the only thing you've got to kind of watch out for with any sort of burst in this bubble is if the market crashes. And realistically, with Black and White coming out, with new Megas, with obviously the 30th celebration, it ain't going to happen anytime soon. Let's be real here. It's more than likely going to be after all of that, or it might just be the general fatigue, but I don't think that's going to really slow down sealed stuff. Singles, we've definitely seen a bit of a drop, even on Journey Together. Like there's a massive drop with a lot of these cards in general. Like you look at just even the very first card with Clefairy at 145. I know full well that price was massive when it first came out. Like you had at least about 250 to 200 on the first week, and then it started tailoring down, and you kind of saw the more 150 being a bit more of a play here, and even then it's come down a little bit more. You can kind of see more of the data. You can obviously see it at 130. We can see it going down to 129. So you've kind of got to think, how far down can it go? Now, I do think Lily's Clefairy will stay at the top, in my opinion. I feel like if you're going to see any lows, it would be with these personally. Like I say, Salamence for me is one of them that I think it's a lovely card. It's a great design. It's a fan favorite Pokemon. I just think with all of the illustrations that we've got, it could be better. It really could have. And you can kind of see through the extent of it dropping massively. Now, I do think if you do look at some of these cards, like I think Volcanion is a great pickup. As an SAR, as a finish, you can kind of see he did drop down massively, which most cards do. It was overhyped after Prismatic, and it dropped instantly. Like I think you could get it on the first week at about £30. And you can see from there, to be honest, it's been pretty steady. Like for the first 3 months, it's gone down a little bit now, but it's very steady when we do look at it. Like you've only got the difference of about $6 or $7. It's not a crazy dipping up, and to be fair, the sales are consistently low, but they're consistent at the minimum. Obviously, if you do go a bit further back, you'll be able to see a few more people buying them. But like I say, the only thing that you got against this set personally is the fact that it is a small set. So if people are trying to collect it, it's not going to be too crazy like we saw with the price at, what, £500-600 for finishing this set, buying all of them individually. You could probably buy, like what I normally do, is buy a booster box, buy an ETB, maybe buy the rest of the products for the promos, and then whatever you've got left, you just buy in singles. So it's one of them sets that is worth not necessarily buying too much from, and you're kind of then hoping for more of a sealed collector as such. So that is kind of the problem with investing in a set like this, is it is very small. So you've always got to be very wary, especially when you do look at some of these sets. And I think some of these illustration rares are well worth a pickup. Like this card in itself is a solid image. It's a great artwork. It's got great coloring behind it. Honestly, if you look at some of the illustration rares that are coming in at like 10 to 15 to 20 pounds, like the Articuno, realistically, if this was a different set, that's a 50 quid card quite easily. It's a great artwork, the colours pop, it works. The Wailord, a stunner. If you can get that under a 10, it's an absolute deal. Then you've even got Lily's Rabombe, you've got Furret, which is a very great realistic vibe. And if you're after more of the kind of cartoon colour pops, Kilowattrel going with the Belly Bolt is a great kind of one of it as well. Brock Scouting, there is quite a few Brock's cards, so I can't really imagine too much with him. And I know the full arts are they're not necessarily a fan favourite anywhere, but I personally really like with the battle partners here. If they do make that a consistent theme, could we see them being a little bit better priced? Obviously, you've got Enzoroark, you've obviously got Hopzation. If you was to be able to get a full collection of them, it could be quite interesting, but at the minute we are only seeing it in the battle partners, but the Journey Together and Destined Rivals so far. We obviously didn't see it in black and white, I don't think, but that was a special set. Then obviously if you do kind of keep going down, you go into the more cheaper variety. Even some of the EXs are great pulls. Now EXs are very much more common, but you could still get a few of them. Obviously Maractus, the Cactus is lovely there. Ruffian, probably not going to do too much as well. So it is just an interesting set all round. Swinub, a solid card. Now it's not a favourite. Lycanroc, I mean, that is an absolute shame that that card is not worth more. Like, that is an easy £10 card in the future. You just can see it from a mile off. The colours there, the lovely Rockruff in the background here, plus then the kind of sharpness of how the image of the card works. It's a stunner. When you do look back at some of these cards of the sets and you think, okay, we'll go back to like a Paldea Evolved, because to be honest, if you go through Paldea, you look at a few of their artworks, some of them are absolutely brilliant. Like, you actually go and look at all of the artworks. Like, I love that Raichu. The Raichu's stunning. The Tyranitar, stunning as well. You've even got a Sprigatito. Now, you can kind of see the market prices kind of dipping up and down. We've got 17 for a Tinkertuff. And as you go further down, you'll be able to see a Florigato coming in at 10 as well. But you'll also see a few of the lower ones. But realistically, you're kind of looking at these and thinking, like, even that Fletchinder, that should be a stunner, and it's hard to go against some of the kind of older cards, and even that Taurus. Like, look at that. That is a brilliant artwork, because the problem is, as you go further back, you don't have them artworks. Like, we go as far back as, say, if we go back into the start of Sword and Shield, because we didn't really have too much of the illustration rares in Cosmic Eclipse. If we went to like a Rebel Clash, I know that was considered more of a lower set as such. It was predominantly more focused around the rainbows, more so than the illustrations. So you can kind of see as we go into here. And realistically, in fact, the main first set that really had any of these would have been like a Chilling Reign or a Fusion Strike as such. We go further down. Could it have been Vivid Voltage maybe? Vivid Voltage does seem like it might have had some, unless it was more it was the Rainbow Chonkachu, wasn't it? So you can kind of see it was alternative V-Arts more so than anything, so they're not necessarily coming in at a crazy amount. Whereas if we go, I know Chilling Reign had some of them, so that is always going to be an interesting one. I've just clicked in it again. So you can kind of see the full art didn't really do too much. But if you do go into more of the, we go Shining Fates has the shinies, obviously. Battlestars, I don't think. I know, obviously, Chilling Reign. We know Evolutions did, but this is kind of what you're looking at, kind of these sort of V-Arts. These were like the first of their kind sort of thing, and we've kind of then adapted through. And you can see some of them are still a little bit cheaper. Obviously, you got Calyrex, and depending on the Pokemon itself, you'll be able to see a few more. We've just got a considerable amount more of a jump into illustration rares. So it is an interesting concept where these are going to go. I do think Journey Together is a solid set. I don't know how crazy I would be to see it drop even more. I could possibly see it, but to be honest, it could also stabilize. I think these prices now are looking more retrospective to the market. Maybe not the MSRP prices. You might see things drop down a little bit more. Maybe you see a few of these drop below 50 as such, but it will be interesting to see where this fully goes in like the next year or so, when hype is completely off this set and into the Mega. So let me know what you think about Journey Together. Are you still collecting it? Are you moving on to Destined Rivals? As obviously that's a big thing as well. It's all that next shiny thing. Of course it is. So let me know what you think. Make sure you like and subscribe down below. Catch you all for the next one. Peace.